Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
77 WABC. Barbara Lewis. Boy, what an oldie.
You haven't heard that one for a while, have you?
No.
I picked that out special this morning.
Well, good.
Yeah, it's a great old song. I figured there'd be so much reminiscing going on today.
Yes.
You know, of course, that this is the last Ross and Wilson show to be heard from 5 till 9 here at WABC. Chime time, 6:59. I love to do that. We'll be doing our regular show here from 5 to 9 today, and then tomorrow it's the all-new Ross and Wilson show on Talk Radio 77
That's
WABC,
right.
6 to 10.
We'll still be playing music.
You won't be able to tell much difference other than the fact that we'll be hanging around a little bit longer.
However,
some people consider that a big disadvantage.
Yes.
But we invite you to tune in for the Lundy Ingram Swan Song today at 9 o'clock.
Yes. Tomorrow morning, by the way, at 9, we'll be interviewing Ruth Gordon. So you'll
a very feisty person, by the way.
Yes.
Ruth Gordon. You never heard from Rosemary's Baby?
Yeah.
She was a little Eye of Newt, Wing of Bat. You remember that? No.
She's on tonight, The Return of Rosemary's Baby or something like that.
Rosemary's Baby grows up.
No, look what happened to Rosemary's Baby.
Rosemary's Baby meets Tammy.
Yeah. Well, Brian, laugh and the world laughs with you, snore, and you sleep alone.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, we'll talk about it coming up after the news.
Like Judith Kuryansky there,
with John Maher. Good morning, John.
Oh, John.
Nobody noticed.
Police say the daughter and her boyfriend tried to tap her family's bank account. Big kidnapping, huh?
Well, they were looking for lots of bucks.
Sure.
Good morning. It's 57 degrees and sunny in New York. This is the 7 o'clock edition on WABC, New York's radio station. On Long Island,
town some 5,000 miles away. This is ABC News.
WABC News time, 8 minutes after 7. It's 57 degrees, sunny in New York. Variably sunny today, the high near 72. Complete radar weather coming up. You're going on a driving vacation this summer? Well, stay clear of Melissa, Texas, if you've got a heavy foot. Melissa sits astride a 3-mile stretch of U.S. Highway 75, which connects Dallas and Oklahoma. Melissa's police department runs a speed trap on that stretch of Highway 75 in Texas, and it's bringing in 541 tickets a month, mostly for speeding. Melissa, Texas figures it's making $167,000 a year on the unwary speeder. I'm John Maher, WABC News on the Ross and Wilson Show.
Melissa, Texas, huh?
Melissa, Texas. Stay clear of Melissa, Texas.
Well, you know what the tip-off is. You know how to tell the speed trap is up. It's the only Lincoln Continental with a radar machine hanging on the side.
Thank you, John.
Well, it's 7:08, 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. Time for the latest. Speaking of radar and stuff, here's Shadow Traffic with Joe Nolan. You know, Joe, why don't you give the radar locations anymore?
Oh, we don't do that. We never did that.
Well, ABC used to do that.
Did they?
Yeah, when I was in high school, when I was going to high school over in Wayne, we used to tune in the morning, and I think it was
HOA?
Herb Oscar Anderson in the morning, and BDI in the afternoon gave the locations of police radar. Ingram would say, the boys in blue are looking for you, and and then he'd give the locations. Then he'd say, it's 3:15 WABC chime time. Bing, like that. I'm going to get a harder pencil. Anyway, that was the deal. I was just wondering why you never did that anymore.
Not us.
I probably didn't make any difference. Traffic is so bad in the morning, you can't get up fast enough to break the speed limit.
That's probably true. There was a place like that down in Georgia. Used to go
Ludowici.
through. Ludowici, Georgia. That's the same place.
Yes.
You get down the end of 95, and everyone would be doing about 57. Well, this is before, I guess, about 70 miles an hour.
Right.
And then you come down, and behind a tree, there was a sign that said 25.
Yeah. Boom.
That's right. That's right.
And behind the sign was the guy with the machine.
That's right. That's right.
That was those were the days.
Anyway, we have ourselves a pretty good day, at least this morning. No real major problems around. A couple of difficulties, though, here and there you want to know about most certainly on the Cross Island Parkway northbound. Doing well past Little Neck Bay. West on the belt, heavy Springfield to Kennedy Airport. On the inbound Grand Central, heavy but moving traffic from the Cross Island into 168th Street. Everything in Queens pretty much normal. Half mile coming down to the Kosciuszko Bridge. There was a 2-vehicle accident there earlier. On the west side, earlier disabled at the 140 area, and that's got things all sluggish through there. Now disabled in the right lane around 125th Street, and if you could stay to the left, that would be good. In the Bronx, on to Hutch at Tremont Avenue, there's a 1-vehicle accident. Again, that's blocking the left lane. Stay over to the right. That would be a good idea. In New Jersey, on Route 9, northbound, heavy for a mile, getting to the Ernston Road traffic light already. Inbound Route 3 is going to be heavy, but moving from Route 46 right on in to Route 21. At the George Washington Bridge, upper deck, a 1-vehicle accident has just been cleared, so heavy traffic 10 to 15 there, and 15 at the Holland and Lincoln. That is Shadow Traffic at 7:10, and now here's Ross Kay with WABC's Radar Weather.
57 degrees in New York City, Joe. A very mixed-up day of weather today. At times, we'll see glaring bright sunshine. Other times, gray and overcast. North and west of the city, it'll be more sunny, but eastern Long Island and Connecticut, much grayer with a chance of showers. Temperatures will be ranging in the 60s to near 70 degrees, probably about 72 in the city. Still clear tonight, some clouds in the eastern sections with a low of 51. Tuesday, though, finally we brighten up all over. Sunny with a high of 73 tomorrow, and Wednesday, new clouds take over. We turn partly cloudy then, the same kind of readings, the high then again about 73 degrees. Currently very breezy, 55 degrees in Morristown, in Hempstead 54, and in New York City 57 degrees. I'm Rasa Kay, WABC Radar Weather.
77 WABC at 7:11. Ross and Wilson, hot to go, and good morning. John Brown's birthday. You remember John Brown?
Lies a moldering in the grave.
That's right.
Isn't that it?
John Brown, born in 1800, became famous in 1861 when President Lincoln decided something smelled down south and sent the Army to find out what it was.
Yes.
And that's what it was.
Right.
John Brown's body, a moldering in the grave.
I knew that
They
was
made a
coming.
song about that, and here's a new updated version. It's performed by Hall & Oates on WABC. 77 WABC 7:15. It's quarter after 7, Monday morning, and this is still the nearly famous Ross and Wilson show.
In a moment,
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, in a moment we will tell you about a new device to help you stop snoring.
Stop snoring.
Yes.
A muzzle.
Well, no.
A muffler.
Not exactly.
Lie to size it, Martha.
Not exactly.
No.
And a phone call and stuff like that coming up on your nearly famous Ross and Wilson show.
Here's a word to the wise. Delta Airlines, the first word in service, the last word in savings. Delta's famed personal service is the finest in the sky, thanks to 35,000 Delta professionals. Delta carries more passengers in the continental U.S. than any other airline. Yet Delta has the fewest complaints about service by far of any major airline, according to the latest CAB records. And when it comes to fares, Delta saves you money with a variety of big discounts to cities across the nation, like Atlanta, Cincinnati, Dallas-Fort Worth, and Houston. And whenever you fly on Delta, don't leave home without the American Express card. It's the easy way to pay for your Delta ticket, as well as hotels, dining, entertainment, car rental, and just about any of your travel expenses. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it. And for the first word in service, the last word in savings, call Delta or see your travel agent. Delta is ready when you are.
Now you can make dependable household help appear out of thin air when you buy a Campbell Hausfeld air compressor from True Value hardware stores. Hi, Pat Summerall to tell you, with the 1.5 horsepower compressor and optional spray kit, you can turn thin air into a powerful force that will spray paint and insecticides, inflate tires and toys, clean screens, or operate portable air tools. Or choose from the larger models and other optional accessory kits from the wide selection available at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
16 and a half minutes after 7 o'clock on your nearly famous Ross and Wilson show. On the telephone with us this morning, Joyce, you're from the Staten Island Zoo, is that correct?
Yes, I'm the president of the Staten Island Zoo.
We're on our knees.
Yes, we are.
Everyone, a little lower over there in the engineering department.
Really?
They don't have a tendency to bow so low.
Well, Joyce, what makes you call this early in the morning?
Well, I know Ross isn't from this area, am I right?
That's correct.
That's true. I grew up in Chicago, one of the suburbs.
Don't hold it against him, though. He still speaks English pretty well.
I know he mentioned that he'd like to see some of the sights of the city.
Yes, I took him down to Times Square and took him to the movie to see Caligula our first night here.
Oh, well, that was something.
Yes, it was. I think that's an understatement there, Joyce.
Oh. Listen, we're having a otter opening at our zoo.
I beg your pardon?
We're having an otter.
An otter opening?
Yes, and I sent you an invitation, a personal invitation. And I'd like to know if you two could come to it.
Are you telling me otters are big at the...
Well, we made a new display, a beautiful display outside, and...
Sounds terrific. You don't see too many otters in Central Park these days.
No, that's right.
Or even out on Staten Island.
No, that's right.
How many you got?
Well, we have 3, and we're hoping that it'll increase by next year.
You have a slide for them?
Yes, we just built a beautiful display with a lot of sluices in it.
Oh, neat.
Should really be nice.
I remember watching an old Walt Disney film where they had them, found them out in the woods somewhere in the middle of a right after a snowstorm, and they went zipping down the hill into the water. It was really terrific.
That's right. That's really fun to watch.
No offense, Joyce, but I understand you're well known for your snakes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are.
How did that come about? The Staten Island Zoo has got the largest. Is it the largest of
we have
display of
the
rattlesnakes?
largest collection of poisonous snakes.
Yeah. How did that come about? I mean, was that? That's a rather, well, I wouldn't say it's a dubious distinction, but as opposed to having the largest number of, say, parrots or something, how did you come up with rattlesnakes?
Well, this was years ago when they first opened the zoo. They got into this, and I don't know. I guess whoever was the curator was really into
snakes.
Really into snakes, huh? Yeah. I understand his last name was Grimsby. Is that right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, probably not.
Maybe.
Well, Joyce, we're going to give you back to our producer, and if you'll give her the dates and everything, we'll see if we can make it to the opening, all right?
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Would you want a press release?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
sure.
We'll give it varied and extensive coverage here on the Ross and Wilson Show.
Fine, but we'd like to have you there if you can make it.
Well?
And, you'll get the invitation, I think, today or tomorrow.
Sounds like fun to me.
Thanks very much, Joyce.
And I enjoy listening to you.
We enjoy listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's your nearly famous Ross and Wilson Show.
7:19, 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll take a look at the traffic and the weather and all that business. But first, it's time for... Here's a guy who had a wonderful weekend. A guy who had a great date. Marvelous dinner. A marvelous evening at the showtime.
Okay.
Saw Dom DeLuise.
Yes.
It was a wonderful...
And here.
The only problem was he had a lousy bottle of wine. Anyone who orders a Spanish Cabernet Sauvignon... Especially a guy who used to own his own bar.
Well, you need to give him some advice, Brian.
I tried, dude. He told me he'd never heard of the California vintner that was on the wine list that evening.
Oh,
Itch and Scratch Wine Company of California.
Maybe he did.
I never heard of them either myself.
Well, I tell you though, you know how sometimes you get those pushy waiters. That's what happened.
That's exactly right.
But I held firm with that guy.
I'm glad you did.
I told him, I said, look, don't try and push any of that old stuff off on me.
No, don't give me that 74.
That's right.
No, I want some of that nice 81 stuff. Vintage 6 p.m.
I want some stuff they got in Thursday, man.
Boys.
Yes.
Thanks. What's happening in the sports, Stevie?
Well, the foam on top.
The Yankees were winners in Seattle last night, 3-0. Tommy John, the winner, he's now 2-4 on the season. TJ turned in 8 innings of 4-hit ball before the Goose came on in the ninth to strike out the side. A 2-run home run by Oscar Gamble gave TJ some breathing room. Oscar's first round tripper of the season, and I'll have more on the Yankee win during Yankee replay at 7:50. The Mets winners at Shea 6-5 over San Francisco yesterday afternoon, and what a way to do it. Bottom of the ninth inning, the score tied at 5-all. Rusty Staub at the plate with 2 outs. He's pinch hitting. Giants star reliever Greg Minton on the mound. The pitch, bye-bye baby, into the right field bullpen for the Met victory. Dave Kingman hit his 11th of the year earlier in the game. He leads the major leagues in home runs. Greg Swan got the win in relief. The Mets host the Padres tonight. Jones against Welsh. NBA playoff action. The conference championships in the East. The Celtics beat Philadelphia 121-81. In the West, Los Angeles over San Antonio 128-117. Tennis at the West Side Tennis Club. Yvonne Lendl an easy winner over Eddie Dibbs 6-1, 6-1 for the Tournament Player Championship. And boxing, the career of undisputed welterweight champ Sugar Ray Leonard is in jeopardy. Ray underwent surgery to repair a detached retina in his left eye yesterday morning. The operation is a success, but whether or not Ray will ever be able to fight again remains to be seen. I'm Steve McPartland, 77 WABC Sports.
Thanks, Steve.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that serious.
Ooh, very, very
well, I mean, detached retina, but I didn't know that was the problem, that he was being hospitalized.
It'll take 5 to 6 months for him to recuperate.
My goodness.
So, won't know whether he'll be able to fight again for a while.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Well, that's almost like Rocky in the movie where about his eyes and so on.
Yeah.
Really
that's tragic.
It is tragic, but at the same token, a heck of a nice guy going out as a winner like that. Still has a great career ahead of him without getting, his brains beat the cream cheese and so on. To be a good lick.
There have been 2 fighters who have had detached retinas that have come back and fought, Ernie Shavers and Maurice Hope. Neither of those guys had $10 million in the bank, though.
No.
Or did 7-Up commercials.
Yeah. That's right. I had a good-looking kid.
That's right.
And a foxy wife. Well, enough of the entire roots of Sugar Ray Leonard here.
We will check out the news headlines.
The latest in the traffic situation.
And more coming up right after we tell you if you don't have the New York Times delivered.
You dummy.
Well, so to speak. Here's an opportunity you shouldn't miss. Right now, if you call toll-free...
1-800-631-2500.
Or in New Jersey...
1-800-932-0300.
And ask for Miss Randall.
Hello, Miss Randall?
She'll tell you how to get the Times delivered for 8 weekends free.
You tell me I can get the Times free?
That's right, free.
Delivered free?
All you have to do is order Times delivery Monday through Sunday for 8 weeks.
How do I do this, Miss Randall?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm not Miss Randall, but I'll tell you anyway.
You sure look like Miss Randall.
You pay for the weekdays, and we'll give you the weekends free.
That's pretty simple.
It is that simple. And if you're in the neighborhood served by a participating dealer, you'll not only get a free weekend service, but an introductory price on the weekdays.
How much is this going to run me, Miss Randall?
I'm glad you asked. Just $2.20 a week. And I'm not Miss Randall.
$2.20?
Call Miss Randall now.
That's a hell of a deal, Miss Randall.
What? I'm not Miss Randall. 1-800-631-2500.
Yeah?
Or in New Jersey, 800-932-0300.
You know what, Miss Randall?
Tell Miss Randall you want home delivery of the New York Times.
Anyone ever tell you you sound a lot like my partner, Ross Britton?
Weekend service free for 8 weeks. New customers only. Offer expires July 15th.
Quick, what was the name of the Indian chief who used to appear on the Howdy Doody show?
Miss Randall.
For the answer to that trivia question, stay tuned to the rest of this commercial. My name is Joel Siegel, and questions like that are just part of my special report, Old Time TV Tune Into Yesterday, this week on the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News. In the report, we'll take a sentimental look at a phenomenon called television. We'll take a trip to Dutyville and see the flub-a-dub again. We'll take off with Captain Video and the Video Rangers. We'll show you clips of Patty Chesky's Marty, and we'll even have an occasional word from a sponsor.
So you say, Jax, the foaming cleanser floats the dirt right down the drain.
And following each segment, we'll give you a trivia quiz that'll test your knowledge of old-time television. So this week, join the Peanut Gallery by making sure your Dumont TV is tuned to Eyewitness News.
Hey, kids, what time is it?
Sorry, Howdy, the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News on Channel 7.
Chief Thunderthud.
It's a special report that'll set television back 30 years.
Hello?
Oh, yeah, the answer to the Indian chief's name on Howdy Doody? Chief Thunderthud.
7:25.
Bunga, everybody.
Are we on the air?
77 WABC.
It certainly does, yes. I wonder what the problem might be there. Are we on the air here?
Yes. You sound like you're talking in a tunnel, though.
It certainly does, yes.
Redistricting lines in New York could mean...
You raised the volume on the wrong one. Oh. Redistricting lines in New York could mean goodbye for some congressmen. We'll talk about that story and also a special report on apartments in New York City.
Well, let's take a look at the traffic
news in about 4 minutes here at 77 WABC.
Do it.
Now let's take a look at the traffic. The southbound West Side Highway...
Well, let's take a look at the traffic. The southbound West Side Highway tied up approaching 125th Street with a stall in the right lane. Southbound BQE backed up for a half mile under the Kosciuszko Bridge. Two-car accident being cleared in the left lane. At the inbound Holland and Lincoln tunnels in the GWB, expect a 15-minute wait into the tolls. Don't forget about the construction of the GWB beginning 9 o'clock this morning in Fort Lee. The ramp from northbound Route 9W to the Palisades Interstate Parkway will be closed due to construction. May cause extra delays on routes 4, 6, and 8095 as they come into the GWB, so allow yourself some extra time. Alternate side of the street parking is still in effect, and Joe Nolan has more coming up at about 11, 12 minutes here at 77 WABC. Ross Kay's radar weather forecast, a mixture of bright sun and clouds. Mostly cloudy on East Long Island and Connecticut today. Mostly sunny in New Jersey and north and west of the city. High around 72. Clear to partly cloudy and a low of 51 tonight. And tomorrow and Wednesday, sunny with a high of 73 both days. Just gorgeous weather. Currently 54 degrees in Manhattan on your nearly famous Ross and Wilson show.
That, and of course that's Dennis and Carl and Al. There we and Mike. Don't forget Mike Love.
Yes,
we're all together there. A good picture in the paper the other day of Mike and Dick Clark talking together.
Really?
Of course they are old friends.
Well, Brian,
ever since Mike broke up with his wife.
Brian,
that's the way it goes.
Laugh and the world laughs with you.
I always thought she was very nice.
Snore and you sleep alone.
Snore and I sleep alone?
Yes.
Maybe that's why they keep leaving in the middle of the night.
Well, now a Los Angeles neurologist, J. DeWitt Fox, has invented a collar that you can wear that will keep you from snoring.
Collar.
Yes.
It's kind of like a choke collar.
Yes.
They give for dogs.
Well, he says snorers are usually mouth breathers. Their tongue falls to the back of the throat, restricting incoming air and setting up a loud vibration, which is a snore. That's right. Well, with
if it falls too far back, it makes another noise. Sounds like death.
Yes. The Snore No More device is a collar like the kind that you would wear for whiplash or headaches, and works by lifting your chin and discourages snoring by allowing the air to flow freely down your windpipe.
Sounds to me like it discourage a lot more than that in bed, Ross.
Yeah.
7:30 on your nearly famous Ross and Wilson show, and time for one of our new stars.
Yes.
Yes, friends, an up-and-comer in his own right. A guy who will have his own show, the Art Athens Show.
That's right.
Featuring all sorts of wild and woolly things at noon today and every day.
That's right.
Here on WABC Radio.
That's right.
Still doing menial newscasts on the half hour, however.
It's a living.
I know that.
Tell me, we have special reports on apartments all this week?
We certainly do, from
Kathy
Kathleen Maloney.
Good.
This week and next week, too.
We will have that.
Canoe.
Hey, listen, this guy's no lightweight. Art is a Peabody Award winner.
Yes.
I beg your pardon.
That's what it said right here in your bio notes.
That's right.
You're a Peabody Award winner.
So we have the special report on apartments.
The bio.
Plus, redistricting lines in New York could mean goodbye for some congressmen, I understand.
Indeed. It was controversial, almost insoluble, Ross, but the court said do it, and they did. Democrats and Republicans in the New York State Legislature have finally come up with a compromise plan for congressional district lines that cuts 5 seats from New York State's congressional contingent, and you could be feeling that pinch very soon. Good morning. It's 57 degrees and sunny in New York. This is the 7:30 edition on WABC, New York's radio station. The new district lines will be...
We'll watch our P's and Q's.
Available in all stores in the Metro New York, New Jersey, and Long Island area.
I'm Art Athens, WABC News on the newly founded Ross and Wilson program.
Close enough. Thank you, Art.
Darn close, by golly.
Yes.
Don't forget to join Art Athens and his new show. Do you have a name for that? Something scintillating and original, like the Art Athens Show?
Nothing we can use on the air.
Oh.
However, that's the name of it.
The Art Athens Show.
Yes. Actually,
1 hour.
It's not a show because I don't have any dancing girls or live orchestra.
You don't?
Not like us.
Gee, we do.
Program or a broadcast. How's the big broadcast? How's it?
The big broadcast.
Right.
I need a little more emphasis.
Yeah,
It's got to be the big broadcast.
That might do it, especially if we get the engineers to give us the reverb back.
That's right.
7:40, 20 minutes away from 8 o'clock already on a Monday morning. Time to find out what's going on with the Demolition Derby.
Look who's here.
Here's old bang-em-up himself, Joe Nolan. Joe, front-wheel drive Nolan.
That's right.
And our latest in shadow traffic. How bad is it?
At the George Washington Bridge, we're going to have some serious difficulties this morning, particularly as you come down off the Palisades Parkway. Very heavy traffic to the George Washington Bridge. There is apparently this huge box crate up on the upper deck, which is causing problems really in both directions at the George Washington Bridge. Also, a plus 20-minute delay from all other approaches inbound at George. So, tough day there. Use the lower if you can get to it. If you're on the Palisades, jump off at exit 1 and come down 9W. Holland and Lincoln tunnels, both a plus 30-minute delay, so big trouble getting across the Hudson River. The inbound on the Grand Central, you're going to be sluggish from the Cross Island to 168. Watch for a tire changer in the right lane on the ramp to the Interborough Parkway. Inbound Triborough Bridge, extra heavy traffic out of Queens. This because of a disabled private construction vehicle up on the bridge. Coming down the FDR Drive, Harlem River combination disabled in the left lane at 150s, and then from the 70s down to 63rd, you're heavy northbound. Very heavy from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Manhattan Bridge. An accident in the right lane right at the Manhattan Bridge. Use the lower deck of the Manhattan-Brooklyn Bridge is going to be loused up. Normal mess through Lower Brooklyn. Mass transit not too bad. I'm Joe Nolan at shadow traffic, or at, 7:40, and now here is Rasa Kay with WABC's radar weather.
It's 57 degrees in New York City, Joe. We have a patchwork quilt of weather conditions over the tri-state area this morning. In New Jersey and Rockland, probably already sunny, and that's the way it's going to stay all day. Over New York City and parts of Westchester, a mix of sun and clouds, so you may see anything there. Eastern Long Island and Connecticut, a lot of clouds and maybe some sprinkles this morning, though it all should clear out by later on today, and everywhere will be under sunshine. The more clouds you're under, the cooler it'll be, though. So in those eastern sections in the 60s, the sunshine is going to warm up the other places to a high of 72. Tonight, we're still fairly clear, clouds moving out completely, and the low will make it to 51. Tuesday will be just beautiful tomorrow, the best day in a while, sunny and mild, the high at 73. Wednesday's going to be just like tomorrow, but a few more clouds in the picture. Mostly sunny then, though, a high of 73 again. We do have some gusty breezes right now, 54 degrees in Yonkers.
You going to do the lilac story again?
No, do that later,
You're going to
Brian.
do the lilac story again?
I'll do it later, Brian.
Okay.
56 in Montclair.
Great lilac story coming up here, friends.
And in New York City, 57 degrees. I'm Rasa K, WABC Radar Weather.
Isn't that marvelous? Is this music marvelous?
Yes.
Doesn't it remind you of days gone by? Great old music. Here's Don and Phil. '77 WABC. Well, you don't hear songs like that very much anymore, Ross.
No, you don't.
You don't hear a lot of Everly Brothers music very much anymore.
No, you don't.
And
you probably won't hear them
here. You're going to hear it again, by golly. That's a good song. I remember that one. 7:45, quarter till 8, 15 minutes away from 8 o'clock.
Well,
Isn't that amazing?
We have all the latest sports, Yankee replay, and showbiz news.
Oh boy!
Right after this.
Deep to right field. That ball is.
We have a Carvel operator that's going into the...
Punctuality is more than a frame of mind. It is discipline. It is keeping commitments. It is the unspoken contract without which business would not function. And to be seen as having a reputation for being punctual, that is a distinction. As happened in a recent independent survey among the international business travelers of the world's largest corporations, the most exacting judges in the world. The survey found Lufthansa as the #1 airline among those most often recommended to other business travelers. Lufthansa. Punctual. A reputation earned on 6 continents in 71 countries and 123 cities around the world. Lufthansa.
Starting May 31st, Lufthansa adds a late evening flight from New York to Frankfurt, allowing you a full business day before departure. Call Lufthansa or your travel agent.
77 WABC.
It is 7:46, 14 minutes away from 8 o'clock, and now... Oh, my goodness. Yes, indeed, friends, it's time for showbiz news. I say it's time for showbiz news, Ross.
Sorry, my eardrums are not here anymore.
Yes, I know that. Take it.
Yes, Joe Namath is going to be back this summer.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, well, you remember he did Damn Yankees last year at Jones Beach.
Yes, a truly sterling... well, it's more like a silver plate performance.
Yeah, well, apparently you can wave hello from across the river. He will not be back at Jones Beach. He will be in Jackson, New Jersey at the Great Adventure Amusement Park.
Oh, yes. How delightful.
He is doing a 7-state tour of Guys and Dolls. Well... he is in Sacramento right now, Sacramento, California, but beginning June 21st...
I bet you he'd do a real good job if he played the part of an audience member for that show.
Yeah, you could never tell.
I think he peaked right after the pantyhose commercial.
Yes, I think that's probably true. We reviewed that last year.
He was a lot of fun with, back when... Farrah Fawcett was,
yes.
No one knew who she was.
Yeah.
And she let him have it with the Noxema shaving cream. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So here was Namath standing there, his mug on the cover, and there's Farrah Fawcett, and she says, "I'm going to cream you," and pow, she hits him with a handful of that stuff there. It was terrific. It was terrific. She became an instant hit.
At any rate, Joe will be in town from June 21st to July 7th.
Is that long?
Yeah, well, you can never tell. The Jones Beach lost how much money? A
lot.
Yeah,
well, you went out to see that play, didn't you?
Yes.
And it was kind of a yawner, wasn't it?
Joe was a little less than sterling. Let's just leave it at that.
Like I say.
Kind of, I would say he's the Donny Osmond of the older set.
Uh-oh. You've done it now.
Don't write.
Don't write. I understand.
I was just kidding. But I had to put it in terms that Brian could understand.
Oh, I can understand that. Yes. Well, I knew there was a similarity when I saw his teeth.
Also, we have in showbiz news a story about America's most famous screen ape, King Kong.
King Kong.
Yes.
Greater than Mighty Joe Young.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, Joseph A. Waynard, a physics lecturer at the University of Wisconsin, says
it would have been impossible for King Kong to climb the Empire State Building.
Well, no. He says King Kong not only couldn't have climbed the building, but he couldn't have existed.
Oh, really?
The beast would have been so heavy.
How heavy would he have been, Ross?
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
That his legs wouldn't have supported his bulk.
bulk.
Yes.
Yeah. Would they have supported anything else?
Well, at 50 feet tall, the legs would have to have been so much larger that the gorilla would appear all out of proportion and really wouldn't look like a gorilla at all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, that's not the only thing that would have been impossible.
Yes.
Imagine that little one-nighter he was trying to get going with what's-her-name?
Fay Wray.
Fay Wray.
That is kind of incredible.
Almost ruined her career.
All right, as long as we're on one-nighters tonight, Cabaret is on with Liza Minnelli and Joel Grey. Great
Now,
movie.
there is a good show.
Yeah.
What channel is that?
9 o'clock on Channel 9.
Wouldn't you know it?
That certainly beats Charles Bronson Week, which also starts this afternoon on on Channel 4.
Kind of like Muscle Beach Party reviewed.
And Ruth Gordon in Look What Happened to Rosemary's Baby. Ruth, by the way, will be on our show tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, Ruth Gordon here on WABC. Won't that be something?
That is Showbiz News.
It is 7:50. It is 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock, and it is Yankee Replay featuring the imperturbable Steve McPartland.
This is Yankee Replay, brought to you by Carvel.
No air pump.
Here goes the perturbed part. Well, the Yankees made it 2 wins in a row last night. They beat the Mariners. Show at 10:15. That's Yankee Replay. I'll be back with more sports after this word from Tom Carvel.
We have a new applicant for, well, everybody wants to be an announcer for Carvel ice cream. I wonder if they suspected my voice is not too good. Jeff, why do you want to be an announcer for Carvel?
I thought doing a Carvel ice cream commercial wouldn't be too difficult, only in that of the facts behind Carvel. It's a premium quality fresh ice cream. It's made of all fresh ingredients. It's made fresh daily. America's freshest ice cream, which cannot be beat. Yes, it costs a little more, but it's the best product out on the market. It is kosher, and it's made by individuals every morning. That's the main reason behind it.
That's a pretty good commercial. Those are all facts, no adjectives, no puff. How about more ice cream, less air?
That's a very, very good point. The Carvel ice cream has a very low percentage of air in its ice cream, and therefore you're getting more for your money.
Are you going to run Wednesday or Sunday, buy one, get one free in your Carvel store?
Yes, we are.
In Boynton Beach?
Yes, we're planning on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Brian.
No air pump.
Thank you. At Shea yesterday, Hollywood couldn't have produced a more dramatic ending. The score tied at 5-all. The Giants in the bottom of the ninth. 2-out old veteran Rusty Staubach. Boom! He hits a home run. Mets win 6-5. Kingman also homered. That's his 11th of the year. He leads the majors. Greg Swan got the win in relief. NBA playoff action. The Celtics had no problem at all handling the 76ers in Boston. The final score.
Swish.
121-81. 40 points. Oh, my. Out west, the Lakers had a tougher time. They managed to prevail to come away with a 128-117 win over San Antonio. Boxing Sugar Ray Leonard resting comfortably this morning after undergoing eye surgery yesterday at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore. His Friday night fight with Roger Stafford obviously postponed. His career certainly in jeopardy. I'm Steve McPartland, 77 WABC Sports.
Can I hear that sound of Rusty Staub hitting the home run again?
Boom.
Thank you. It's not often Steve McPartland does a Warner Wolf impersonation, and I figured, you ought to at least get the chance to hear it.
Even without the videotape.
No air pump.
No air pump, indeed. More news, less air. 7:54, 6 minutes away from 8 o'clock on the nearly famous Ross and Wilson Show. Here's the latest news.
Well, the air traffic controller strike is still going on.
Oh, good.
Yes.
And we'll look forward to that and the weather and the traffic and all that business coming up sometime in the next 7 minutes.
Yankee baseball tonight. Don't forget the Yankees play in Oakland, as Steve mentioned, brought to you in part by the Ford Motorcraft Car Care Centers, who carry quality motorcraft parts, and by the New York State Lottery, with all kinds of winners playing all kinds of games. 77 WABC.
Name that tune.
Going out to, Hawaii, I guess.
That's right.
The theme from Magnum P.I.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a job where you get paid like $10,000 a week and you get to drive around a Ferrari?
Sure.
And have every woman in the world... let me think of a tasteful way of putting this.
After your body?
Yeah,
yes.
That'd be good. That'd be nice.
I think it wouldn't even be a bad job to have the one that Mike Post does, writing 2-minute snatches of music for the beginning of TV series.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know?
That'd be nice.
That's all he does, and he makes a mint. He gets them releases records and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's almost... I mean, here we have to work for 4 hours, working and slaving over a hot microphone at minimum wage. Quick rundown on the traffic. Joel will be in about 10 minutes, but you might want to know that northbound on the drive, traffic is backing up from the Brooklyn Bridge to the Manhattan Bridge because of a bingo in the right lane. Also backing up traffic on the inbound Brooklyn Bridge. Williamsburg or the upper deck of the Manhattan Bridge will be the best. Inbound Triborough Bridge, extra heavy living Queens, got a disabled truck in the right lane over there. Northbound traffic on the BQE is crawling due to heavy volume, and there's a 1 mile backup southbound onto the Kosciuszko due to an earlier accident.
Ooh.
A bad morning on the Jersey crossings. Inbound George now a 20-minute wait on the Martha too. There is debris both in and outbound on the George. The Holland and Lincoln tunnels are both heavy with half-hour waits into the tolls. So there's a quick rundown there, and of course Joe will have all the details coming up shortly.
If you're out and around town tonight, you might want to check out a big concert over at Carnegie Hall.
Big concert.
The American Symphony Orchestra will be there along with Ethel Merman.
There's no business like show business business. I know.
It's a benefit for the
no.
It's a benefit for the Friends of the Theater.
Friends of the Theater
and the Museum of the City of New York. It'll cost you $25 minimum to get in the door.
Cheap at twice the price.
Up to $150 for the front row seats. So that's Ethel Merman in concert with the American Symphony Orchestra. The weather, a mixture of bright sun and clouds. Ross will have more coming up in about 2 minutes.
Congratulations to America's first planetarium. Opened in Chicago on this day in 1930, your birthplace. Do you remember that?
The first planetarium, Hayden Planetarium?
No. The one in Chicago, the Hayden Planetarium's right here.
Well, they have one in Chicago,
Not
too.
anymore, they don't. If you want to see something out of this world, you can go to the planetarium and look at the planets. Or if you really want to see something out of this world, go down to the new car dealers and look at the prices.
Oh, really?
Sir Thomas Lipton, born in Scotland on this day, 1850.
Ah, Sir Tom.
Started a small grocery store in Glasgow at the age of 19, a millionaire at 29, owned tea plantations in Ceylon at the age of 39. But you know, he never did realize his major goal. His major goal, winning the America's Cup yachting trophy.
Was that really his? No
that was
kidding.
his big goal. So in 1930, the American public gave Sir Thomas a gold cup for being good sport.
A gold cup.
That's right. Which was only fair since it was Americans who first desecrated the precious tea by putting ice in it.
That's true.
And that was what happened with Sir Thomas Lipton.
It's 8 o'clock in Manhattan.
A lot of you people thought he just hung around and invented the flow-through tea bag.
But
you were wrong. And it's the Ross and Wilson show setting you straight.
John Maher is here at 8 o'clock. And
you got to get some security people in here.
Tells us the lawmakers are defining their own districts today up in Albany.
John Maher, a former chief petty officer on the USS Walla.
Look for a real cat fight today in Albany. Good morning. It's 61 degrees, sunny in New York. This is the 8 o'clock edition on WABC, New York's radio station.